One other way that it gets regulated is with dollars. Right?
Yeah.
So you have to get the funding in order to create the infrastructure that you need, all the various COP recommended roles. For those of you that have done or know about COPs, there are lots of different roles involved. Well, you can't sustain that in a Wild West environment. You need some funding to get those people. So that's essentially, the nod is when you say, okay, here's some money to manage that community, and that's one way that it's regulated.
Yeah, but great question, and an issue we see everywhere.
Diversion.
I won't. This is an issue I'd really get on my high horse about, but there's corporate journalism. If you're trying to do any of this stuff on the web, one of the hardest things to get across. One of the hardest things to get across is you don't write for the web the way that you write normally, right? And it took us a long time to figure this out. It takes a lot of our clients a long time to figure this out. But there's always this moment of truth where we say, well, should we put that content online as some form of knowledge management, sharing? Put that online. There's a huge difference. If you expect people to consume this stuff on the web, there's a huge difference between rewriting that content for publication on a web page and putting that content there as a link to a Word document. Right? Now, it's not that subtle of a difference, but most of what we were doing years ago, and a lot of what we see today, are people saying, well, of course we're making that information available if it's online. Well, what does that mean? If it means that it's a link to a document that you have to open up and read to figure out if it's got anything interesting in it, good luck, right? That won't work, right? So we employ a whole tribe of corporate journalists who's, think about the role this plays in knowledge sharing. People have to be excited about this content. They have to, just like a newspaper. You go to a magazine rack at Barnes & Noble. Do you buy the magazine? Well, you do kind of on the basis of, does it look like it have anything interesting in it? Same thing applies to the web, right? So when we do a lot of knowledge management that takes the form of content people can quickly scan and link to something more detailed if that's appropriate. But it's more art than science, but we spend a lot of time at this because we learn that people just won't read this stuff, they won't click if they don't have a reason to believe there's something interesting here. Sorry. Enough said. Another topic I could go in deeply, but if you're going to do this on the web, spend a whole lot of money or put your best people on this design aspect. Right? A lot of what we see done on the web, and when we've learned, what I'm showing you today 8 years ago was the black screen with the green lettering, right? So, we've come a long way ourselves, but you have to get this user experience stuff right where people just, who's the gentleman talked about the build it and they will come? They don't come. They come once or they leave, they won't come back, right? And a lot of it is just if you make, we went through a period at IBM where I swear we were trying to prove that there was nothing that you could not do on the web and make it more painful than it used to be, right? And it's all design. It's all just, do you choose to make this a pleasant experience or do you actively drive people away from what you're trying to get done? Bad design is a great way to do that. Okay, people-to-people connections. Now, we're getting to communities of practice, and one thing we have to know with communities of practice, or what people ask, what they want to know, is who is in that community, right? Before I sign up, before I put my extend myself out there, who is in that community? And so at IBM, this is on our portal and this whole range of stuff that we do. This is probably the killer app, right? Real simple thing, but what drives people to this whole range of resources is the ability to find somebody, search for their name, search by profile. We do this a lot of different ways. 325,000 people across the globe, and we've got a way to locate any of them. Here's this guy Norbert that I wouldn't know from Adam because he's from Belgium, but I turned out to be in a presentation with him, so I'm able to get online and check him out, right? Who does he report to? What communities is he involved in? What work has he been doing, right? So one business objective that we have at IBM is we've got to find a way to put people who may never have met together very quickly and get work done, right? And so what Blue Pages does is gives us a very quick way to kind of sort people out. It does wonderful things. It's very subversive in a way because I can look at somebody's upline management and everybody reports to them, and that's useful information a lot of times, right? And so this has been a tremendous driver of people to the web for us, where we're also doing a lot of what I've shown you. Skip that.
How does it connect
yeah.
people together? Sorry?
Excuse me?
You said it connects people together. How does it do that?
Well, so one way is just that it provides a facility where if I looked up your name, I could find you.
Right.
Now, we've taken this, not today's purpose, we've taken this piece and then we've